Welcome.
Somebody respond! Over!
Barry?
Monster! James! Gun? Unaffected! It's it! Stay away! Forest outside mansion! Stay! Hey!
The Arklay Research Facility was hell on earth for those who became lab rats for the development of the T-virus and many of its strains. They would turn innocent people into monstrous and violent creatures. We've seen the fate of the inventive architect George Trevor. Now, it's time to dive into an even worse case. The fate of his wife Jessica Trevor and their daughter Lisa Trevor. The year was 1964. Oswald E. Spencer hires George Trevor to create the Spencer Mansion as he wanted a surrealist building with the elaborate trap rooms and puzzles that we're all very familiar with. It took 3 years to complete the mansion, and after its completion, Oswald invited George and his family to be his first guests. But with George being too busy with work, he let his wife Jessica and their daughter drive over to the mansion and stay for the week until he arrived. As soon as Jessica and Lisa had arrived at the mansion, the two were immediately detained by the security guards and taken into the underground cavern. In handwritten notes, Jessica described what occurred moments after they were separated from each other. Day by day, I can feel my consciousness drifting further away. The shots given to me by men in white clothes made some of Mommy's itching go away. Today they gave me another shot saying it was nutrition. When they give me the shots, Mommies can't think straight. But Mommy's shocked and sad because Mommy's unable to think of you all the time. Mommy's afraid of forgetting everything, especially the memories of you and Daddy, what your faces look like, how we used to be together. They're all starting to disappear into somewhere dark in my mind. Oh, Lisa. I wish I could touch your face and hold you in my arms right now, so that I can hold on to our wonderful memories of you and Daddy. Lisa, we can't stay here any longer. We have to escape. Listen to me, Lisa. Our chance to escape is the next time when we go to that lab together. We'll both pretend that we're both unconscious, and when that man in white clothes is off guard, that will be our chance. When we're on the outside, let's look for Daddy together. Okay, sweetie? Be strong, Lisa. November 13th, 1967. Jessica Trevor. Lisa and her mother were not separated from each other from the beginning, up until the next day. And Lisa began describing the experience she went through in her journal. November 14th, 1967. I feel dizzy after that shot they gave me. I don't see Mom. Where did they take her? She promised me that we would escape together. Did she escape alone and leave me behind? November 15th, 1967. I found Mom. We ate together. I was very happy. But she was a fake. Not my real Mom. Same face, but different inside. Have to find Mom. Have to give face back to Mother. I got Mom's face back. Nobody can have my Mom except me. I attach her face to me so she doesn't go away. Because Mom's sad when I meet her without her face. November 17, 1907. From inside box, scent of Mommy. Maybe true mother there. Stone box hard, it hurt. Steel rope in the way. Can't see Mother because 4 stones. This was the last thing she wrote. Jessica would not get the opportunity to attempt her escape, as she was executed simply for showing negative results. She was injected with the type A strain of the progenitor virus, whereas Lisa was injected with the type B strain of the progenitor virus, both being subjected to further testing, with their mental state deteriorating due to the progenitor disease. only Lisa's body would successfully integrate with the virus, giving her unbelievable strength that no human could possess. After her mother died, they hid her body in a large solid sarcophagus which would remain sealed shut, with 4 chained bulky stones in each corner of the platform, keeping it from ever being opened. The following day, Lisa's body would continue to deteriorate. Her behavior was becoming a problem, and she was insisting in seeing her mother. So the researchers decided to make a female employee disguise herself to look like her mother. It worked in the beginning, but she caught on to it and assumed that someone else was wearing her mother's face. So she tore off the researcher's face and wore it to keep it close by in hopes of giving it back to her mother. Over the years, they kept her chained in a small confined location beneath the Spencer estate, making her body mutate further from being forced to be hunched over for too long. She would later be moved into the Arklay lab after its completion. She became their deepest, darkest secret, to the point that most researchers weren't even aware of her existence, and the few that did know about her did not even know her name. In 1978, William Birkin became the facility's new chief researcher. He used Lisa's abilities for further testing. 10 years later, the Nemesis Alpha parasite was genetically engineered by the researchers over at Umbrella Europe, and Lisa was selected to be the host of this new parasite. These genetically engineered parasites were created as a way to work around a host's brain damage and mental degradation, which were common side effects of the T-virus, and this particular parasite can get the host to demonstrate human-level intelligence and self-awareness. The success rate for a host to survive the parasite were very low, but since Lisa's body had endured constant pain, it had higher chances of surviving the process. During the surgical implantation, Lisa's immune system attacked the organism and destroyed it, and to add further shock, her body absorbed its DNA, restoring her consciousness with some degree of intelligence, but it escalated her deformity, giving her vine-like tentacles growing out of her back. This would be the same parasitic species used to create the tyrant we all know as the Nemesis, and it explains why both Lisa Trevor and the Nemesis sprout out tentacles from their body. But since Lisa's body killed the parasite and absorbed its DNA, it might explain why the tentacles are slimmer and short, whereas the parasite implanted in the Nemesis would completely take over the host. Lisa Trevor had endured one experimentation after another, surviving a new strain, only to prepare her for the next. After a period of time, she would break out of her restraints and attack the female employees, tearing off their face. By now, it was no longer about them having the appearance of her mother. It just became a habit. And after killing 3 female researchers in 1995, the executives had enough of her and decided to finally execute Lisa Trevor. After 3 days of observing if her regenerative abilities bring her back up, she was officially declared dead. It is uncertain as to where her body was disposed of, but she once again survived the execution and continued to wander around the locations she remembered, such as the underground tunnels, a shed next to the mansion which was used to store vegetables grown nearby, and even the location where her mother's body was being kept. But even though she recognized the scent of her mother, she was unable to open the sarcophagus. Not until the STARS members made their way into the mansion and discovered the locations where Lisa was hiding out, including the location of Jessica's body, which would be the final confrontation between Jill and Barry, or Chris and Wesker. By the time you've reached this part of the game, you are well aware of her regenerative abilities, and that she can withstand all the firepower in your inventory. However, you can push her back with enough firepower to get her almost to fall off the platform, and if you continue to shoot her while she's holding onto the ledge, you can get her to fall off. The second option is to push all 4 chained stones off the platform. This would open up the sarcophagus, allowing for Lisa to finally see her mother, and this would happen. This would be the last time that Chris or Jill and Barry would see Lisa Trevor. As for Wesker,
nobody's perfect. Not even you, Lisa.
You were behind all of this. You're just like all the other things. A slave of Umbrella.
Smart girl. But I think you misunderstand me. The things you mention are nothing. I'll burn all of them along with this entire laboratory. That will be the end of my connection with Umbrella.
What? What are you...
I died once. I will never forget the cold, dark fingers of death reaching out for me. However, even that death was a necessary component of the big picture. The virus that Birkin had created brought me back from the brink of annihilation. When I awoke, hatred became my master.
Emergency. The self-destruct
I found the
system
tyrant that
has
killed
been
me was dead,
All
and the facility was just
personnel
moments
must
away from
evacuate
self-destruction. I did not have time to enjoy my newfound life. I had something I needed to do.
throughout Wesker's struggle to escape the lab and the mansion, Lisa would continue to chase him down. After all, he was one of those researchers who had previously tortured her, and he was finally at her grasp. Unfortunately, in that particular timeline, Lisa does not get her revenge, and Wesker managed to escape the lab with his new abilities, as Lisa was caught in the explosion.
The end has come. Be a good girl and stay dead this time.
The destruction of the mansion would put an end to Lisa Trevor, finally setting her free from years of endless torture. Umbrella had tricked many others into becoming their personal lab rats throughout the decades, creating grotesque creatures out of them, and others never making it past the first stages of the virus. But for Lisa, it became an unescapable nightmare, plaguing her childhood and adult life, up until the day she died. This was the tragic story of Lisa Trevor and her mother, Jessica Trevor. That's it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button to give this video a chance to grow. I'd like to thank all my Patreon supporters for their impeccable generosity. Your support means a lot to me, and you are part of the reason why I try to make the best content that I can. And if you like this content, check out the rest of my channel. You'll find more entertainment from separate franchises I like to cover, such as Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Z, Celebrity Deathmatch, Men in Black, The Mask, Batman comics, The Terminator, TMNT, Dino Crisis, Resident Evil, and more. If you're a Patreon supporter, check out my exclusive videos such as the Gantz content. And if you'd like to show your support, go to my Patreon and support the channel, which is only $1. Sacrifice that McChicken for extra quality content, my friend. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.